Have you ever wondered what the longest living people in the world tend to share? Yes, research points to food, climate, and stress, but there is something else they often reveal, something subtle but powerful. It is the kind of regret they carry at the end of life, and it is very different from the regret most people are living with now. And that is exactly where this video begins, because today we are not only opening that one difference, we're going much deeper into the regret paradox itself, into the hidden ways regret shapes your choices, your attachments, and your future. So stay with us until the end, because you will leave with more than insight. You will leave with a practical technique to see whether your regret is trying to wake you up or quietly dragging you down like a stone sinking through deep water. And if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Every reaction, every comment, every small signal of support helps us keep going and keep creating content that matters.
Have you ever stood in a grocery store staring at two almost identical products and somehow turned it into a full existential crisis? One is the safe option, the one you always buy, the one you already know. No surprises, no disappointment, no risk. And then there's the other option, maybe better, maybe richer, maybe exactly what you actually want, but your hand still reaches for the familiar one. Not because you love it, not because it excites you, but because it feels safer. Now zoom out. That same moment happens in careers, in relationships, in business, in creative work, in the quiet decisions that shape your entire life. You stay in the job that drains you because at least it pays. You keep the side dream on the side because at least your main path looks responsible. You delay the move, the launch, the difficult conversation, the bold step, because somewhere in your mind, safety has become more emotionally persuasive than possibility. And this is where the paradox begins, because the thing you call your safety net may not actually be protecting you. It may be training you to betray your future in tiny, reasonable, socially acceptable ways. History is full of people who got trapped by this. One of the clearest examples is Kodak. Kodak actually helped invent the digital camera. They saw the future early. They were not blind, they were not stupid, they were protected. Their existing business model was the safety net. Film was working, film was profitable, film was familiar. And because the old system still felt safe, they moved too slowly toward the new one. That is what makes safety nets dangerous. They do not usually destroy you through chaos, they destroy you through delay. Not dramatic collapse, gradual hesitation, repeated postponement, 1,000 small decisions that feel intelligent in the moment and catastrophic in hindsight. So what if your problem is not fear of failure? What if the deeper problem is this? You have made peace with a version of life that is merely tolerable because it keeps rescuing you from the discomfort of fully committing. What if the backup plan is not your protection, but your sedation? The safety net is not always a net. Sometimes it's an emotional tranquilizer, a way to reduce short-term anxiety while increasing long-term regret. And your brain loves this trade because the brain is not built to maximize meaning. It is built to minimize immediate threat. So why does this happen? Usually for three reasons. First, the familiar feels safer than the unknown, even when it is objectively worse. Your nervous system would rather repeat a known disappointment than risk an unfamiliar outcome. Predictable pain often feels safer than unpredictable possibility. Second, safety nets reduce urgency. When there is always a fallback, your brain delays full engagement. It says, we can try later. We can get serious next month. We do not need to go all in yet. And slowly, optionality becomes avoidance, wearing expensive clothes. Third, the mind confuses preservation with intelligence. It tells you that holding back is wisdom, that over-preparing is maturity, that waiting until you feel fully ready is responsible. But in real life, many people are not being wise. They are being emotionally buffered from growth. Let me make this personal. Imagine a woman named Laura. Laura wants to start her own consulting business. She is talented, experienced. People already ask her for advice. She has ideas, skill, credibility. But every evening after work, she says the same thing. I'm not ready yet. I need a little more savings, a little more clarity, a little more time. So she keeps her stable job, not for 1 year, for 5. During those 5 years, she does not fail, she does not crash, she does not lose everything. She just slowly becomes someone who no longer trusts her own courage. Then one day, the company restructures. The safe job disappears anyway. Now she builds, but from panic, not purpose. And that is the hidden cost of over-attachment to safety. Sometimes the risk you avoided still arrives, but now you meet it weaker, later, and less prepared psychologically. So why do you think that happened? Because the common misconception is this: people think regret comes from making the wrong, bold move. But very often, the deepest regret comes from never making the move that mattered at all. Not the leap that failed, the life that stayed half-lived, the talent that stayed in rehearsal, the voice that stayed inside because the backup plan kept whispering, not yet, not yet, not yet. So what do? You do not need reckless action. You need to weaken the emotional spell of artificial safety.
Here's one practical technique, the reversal test. Ask yourself, if this safety net disappeared tomorrow, what would I finally do? What decision would become obvious? What move would become urgent? What truth would I stop negotiating with? Then ask the second question, if I already know that is the move, why am I waiting for pain to make me honest? That question cuts deep because many people are not waiting for clarity. They're waiting for enough discomfort to overpower their attachment to the familiar.
But guess what? If at least 2 of your answers were yes, here's what to do. Do not just sit with that insight. Give it structure. Step 1. Write the plan down. A goal that lives only in your head rarely turns into action, but when you put it on paper, your brain gets a very different signal. We are safe, we know where we are going. It is much easier for the brain to accept something new when there's a plan behind it, because anything new is unfamiliar, and what is unfamiliar is often treated like danger. That is when resistance begins. Step 2. Take the parts that trigger resistance and break them into smaller steps. Smaller steps create less fear and more movement. So if you write down something like create a marketing campaign and that immediately feels overwhelming, break it into 3 smaller actions. Open the Google Ads interface and explore it, watch one YouTube tutorial, run one tiny test campaign full of mistakes and imperfections just to see what it actually looks like. You get the idea. Step 3. Start small and then repeat it. 5 minutes a day, 1 hour a week, whatever you can realistically commit to, because the brain rewards visible progress, even tiny progress, and that reward matters. It creates momentum, it gives you a sense of movement, and that is what helps you keep going. The main idea here is not to wait for the collapse, but to give yourself permission before it happens, because sometimes the most dangerous thing in life is not instability, it is excessive stability in the wrong direction. So let's return to the question we began with. What kind of regret do the longest living people in the world often seem to share? Not the regret of a life abandoned, not the heavy bitterness of dreams endlessly postponed. What often remains is something far quieter, the regret of people who were so busy living, truly living, that they simply could not fit every desire, every vision, every calling into one lifetime. And that kind of regret feels very different. It does not taste like waste, it tastes like longing, like a small, wistful smile, like gratitude with a shadow of sadness behind it. Not, I never really lived, but I lived deeply, and still there was more I wish I had time for. And one last thing, when you feel stuck, numb, delayed, or divided, pay close attention to what keeps pulling you back every time you are close to committing. That thing you call security might be the very reason your real life has not started yet. And years from now, the question will not be, did I protect myself well enough? It will be, why did I keep choosing what felt safe over what I knew was mine? Thanks for watching. If this video gave you something meaningful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Creating this kind of content takes a lot of time, thought, and resources, and every reaction genuinely helps us keep this channel going. Your support means more than you may realize, and it helps make the next video possible. Until next time, stay calm, stay curious, and stay connected to your inner peace.